Hey class, so this is going to be our last animation video. We're going to talk about storyboarding, and do a demo of how to get started with a storyboard. But we'll also go over submitting the final project. So what we want to do is, in most animations, you always start with a story, you always start with a script, audio recordings. We're not doing all of that stuff, but a good way of kind of demoing that is using a storyboard. Storyboard is where we combine drawings of like key images or key components of the animation, sort of as the animation is going, along with text and sound and dialogue and stuff like that. We're also not going to be using most of those things, but we'll use it as a way to kind of plan out our final animation. And keep in mind, we're making an animation to describe an emotion, and it should have a beginning, middle, and end. And those things can be very simple, but they should be clear. So in the demo, I'm not going to show all of that stuff because it'll take up too much time. But just keep that in mind when you're working on your animation. You want to have all those components. And again, as I've mentioned before, if you want to do something different that's not an emotion or that's not exactly the same as what we're looking at, just let me know. I'm happy to talk about other approaches. But now what we're going to do is just look at how to get the storyboard and edit it, and then we'll post a final post with everything together. So I'm going to do the storyboard on the computer, but you don't have to do it that way. You can download it and draw with pen and paper or pencil, and then take a picture and upload it. A lot of people do that because they're more comfortable drawing on paper. But I'm going to show you how to do it in Animate if you want to do it that way. So there's a template for the storyboard. If you go to our animation topic, it's one of the first links. It's also linked down here in the project description. And when you go there, it's just a PDF, and it just has like the title for the animation, and some description, and then a bunch of boxes. And you can use as many as you want to tell your story. So you could print this if you have a printer and draw on it and then scan it or take a photo and post it on the blog. I'm going to download it and I'm going to open it in Animate and just use Animate to draw on top of it. So I'm downloading it. It's going to be in my downloads folder. And what I'll do, it's a PDF, but I'm pretty sure if I try to open it with Animate, it will let me. No, I don't see it here. So let's just drag it and drop it on there. So I'm going to open up Animate. I have my project open, but I'm going to open a new file. And the one thing I want to do is make sure that I have the right width and height for this. So let me see if I can see the width and height of this document. No, it doesn't show me. That's why I wanted to open it. Okay, let's see if we can do it anyway. So I'm going to do full HD. I don't care about the frame rate because what I'm going to show you is just how to export images. So I'm going to create this. And what I'm going to do is let's just try dragging and dropping. I'm going to drag this on here. I think it'll work. I think I've tried this before. If not, we can just import it as footage. Looks like it's thinking. All right, I'll pause and see how long. Okay, so it turns out you cannot put a PDF into Animate. I don't know why I thought you could, but what I've done is I went ahead and added a JPEG version of the storyboard template. If you click on that, you'll be able to download it just from the browser. Just hit Control-S or right-click and save as, and you can save it to your downloads or wherever you want to save it. Is fine. And yeah, now we have a storyboard template for JPEG. So now if I go to Animate and make a new project, I should be able to import this image. So I'm gonna go to File, Import, and import to Stage. And then I'll go to my Downloads folder, and here's storyboard.jpg, and there we go, that will work. So you can see that it's a little bit larger than our canvas. So what I'm going to do is just increase the height of the canvas a little bit until it's big enough to hold most of the storyboard. Okay. That looks pretty good. Let's just do a round. Okay. So with the storyboard, what we want to do is we can put the title of the animation up here. And then in a storyboard, normally you have a drawing of what it's going to look like on the screen. And then in the lines beneath, you can put different information, like what the camera angle is, what the sound cue is, things like that. We're doing something pretty simple, so you could put a little description there, or you can just use the visuals. So I'm going to use the type tool to get started, and I'm going to just add a layer on top of this. So I'm going to put storyboard on the layer that already has the image on it, and then I'm going to lock this so I don't mess it up. And then for the layer 2, I'm going to put title, and I'll just use the type tool to put happiness. It's very small, so let's increase this size. And let's do a black. Okay. So I can put the title here. It's kind of snapping around. And let's make it even bigger. Okay, let's turn off snap. It's not really useful here. Okay. And if we really want to change the text, I forget what the font I was. This. Okay. So that looks pretty good. There's our title. And then we can just leave this here. And there's a little description field up here. So we can put a little description. So I'll grab the type tool again and just type by Roberts animation of happiness. Okay. So you can put a little byline. And we'll just leave that there. And we can make multiple pages, but that'll stay on there. So I'll lock that and make another layer. And then here we can start to actually add our drawing. So in our opening scene, it's kind of hard to draw this, but we actually start with the text. So let's put some more text, put happiness here, and we'll put this in the middle right here. So that's the first thing that we see. And then over here, we fade into orange. So what I want to do is show what it's going to look like. So I'm just going to copy happiness and put it over here. The way I did that, the fancy way I did that, is I just hit Alt and then pull this over, and it makes a copy. And then I'm going to put some more text. So I'm going to hit the T to get the type tool. I'm going to put some text that says fade from black to orange. And this is a little large, so I'm just going to make this smaller. And then I'll put this in the description down here. And if you're doing this on paper, if you print this out and you want to just do it on paper, you're obviously just going to write these things in and just draw them in. So then the next thing that happens is happiness animates out. So I'm going to drag another copy of this. And then to show animation, it's good to use like a different color just so we can see different things. So I'm going to use the line tool, and I'll do like a orangey color and just draw a line like that. Maybe I can get an arrow. I'm not going to spend too much. So let's make it a little bit, and I'll just draw an arrow. And so we can just use, whoops. I don't like this one as much. Let's just center this arrow. We can just use visual cues to kind of represent what's going to happen. So we start with the text happiness, then we fade from black to orange in the background, then happiness animates down. So we obviously don't want to draw out the whole animation, but we just want to show what's happening from one scene to the next. So then I have the ball enter. So I'll grab an oval and I'm going to say no stroke. Just do the ball. And I'll start with the ball here. And then I'll just kind of draw my line that shows the animation. Okay, so it's going to go like that, that, and then that, and then off. And so it's good to use different colors to represent different things, just to make it clear to people who are looking at it what's going on. So then we'll put a little text title here, just say a ball bounces around. And this is a little too big, so let's make this smaller. And we're on our way. Okay, so this is just the very beginning of the animation, but you guys can add more to your animation. I don't want to save quite yet. So you can add more into the animation and plan out everything that you want to do and then go back and animate it. If your storyboard and your animation are not exactly the same, that's fine. It's good to be kind of ambitious with the storyboard, but when you go to do the animation, you may not be able to do as much. So the nice thing about working here is now if I want to add something new, I can hit F7 and you can see my title is still there, my storyboard is still there, but I can start to draw more stuff. I can do a different animation, I can add more stuff in there. So you can make as many frames in your storyboard as you want. And then you can export those frames. So let's save this and export, and then we'll post our project. So I'm going to save this flash or animate file. So I'll go into animation and I'll just call this storyboard. And then if you want to export a single image from your animation, you have to make sure that your playhead is on the frame that you want to export. And then if we go to File, Export, and just Export Image, you'll be able to export this image. We want it to be a JPEG. We can go with high quality. And yeah, just hit enter. And if you have multiple storyboard pages, you could save storyboard page 1 and then save that. And so if we go to our project folder, now I've got storyboard page 1. And so that's just an image that I can post on the blog. And so there we go. And so then I don't have another page, but imagine I did. I could go to the next frame. I could go to File, Export, Export Image, and hit Enter. Oops. Okay, I don't know what it's doing. Okay, all I want to do is export. Click here, enter. Okay, something very odd is happening. Let's see if it exported. No. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna figure out what's going on. Okay, for some reason when I was hitting enter, it was stuck on preview, which I couldn't see because the window's too big. Maybe I can make this. No, I can't make the window small. So I can't really see the buttons on here because the screen I'm using is too small, but I'm gonna drag it over to my other screen. I'm just gonna hit save. And then that'll bring up this window that you can see now. And we're gonna call this storyboard page 2. And there we go, storyboard page 2. I actually accidentally put an equals sign here. Okay. And so again, I don't actually have anything on here, but this is just to demonstrate if you have multiple pages to your storyboard, you can export them as images one by one. Okay, so once you're done with your storyboard, you're gonna go back to your animation and finish the animation. I'm not gonna demo that because it would just be a waste of time, but just keep that in mind that the demo is just a demo. It's not the full project. So if you've only done what I've done, then you haven't completed the assignment. this week we don't have as much new material because I want you guys to really focus on making an interesting and complete animation. So, you know, don't just do the bare minimum. Try to think of something that would be interesting to show to people, that would be something that you would want to include in your portfolio. It's really your chance to, you know, make something interesting and express your creativity. Once you're done with that, we're just going to make a post for our final project. So let's review our animation requirements. So you're going to post on Brightspace the project file and your storyboard file. And then you're going to create an OpenLab post with the MP4, the video embedded. Then we have a project statement with the project title, when you created it, spring 2025, software used, and then a 3 to 4 sentence description of your process, just like we have done for the past couple of projects. If you use some background imagery and it was Creative Commons, you could put license information for that as well, like we've done in our previous projects. But my basic assumption is that we're not doing that, but it is an option. So let's add our post and then we'll wrap things up. So my project title is Happiness. And on the post, I'm going to include the video and the storyboard and everything else. This is from spring 2025. Adobe software is Adobe Animate, and then a 3 to 4 sentence description of the project. So this can include your creative process, any ideas that you had as you were working on it. So I'll just say I animated the emotion happiness. What is that? Oh, there's 2 keys. And I used Adobe Animate with motion tweens and frame animation to create, well, let's say to capture the emotion. And just continue to, you can elaborate on your concept. So then we want to post the video. So I'm posting the same video I posted last time, but you should have an updated video, obviously. So I'm going to put in happiness.mp4 here, and then you can add in your storyboard. So I'll have storyboard page 1, throw that in there, and then storyboard page 2. And that's it for the OpenLab post. So we'll publish that. Oh, maybe I forgot to choose a category. Go to categories. This is just animation, not the weekly blog post anymore. So while that's publishing, we're going to go over to Brightspace. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go over to Brightspace. Take a look at the requirements for the animation project. So animation has a clear theme, uses good composition and design, and tells a clear story. So that's 10 points. Animate file. So you have the proper organization, keyframes, everything in your animate file. Blog posts, that's what we just did, is 10 points. Documentation is your video and your storyboard. Writing, and then a link to the post. So we're going to put a link to the post here, and then we're going to add 2 files. We're going to add the storyboard file and the project file. If you did your storyboards by hand, then you won't have one of these, so that's fine. So we're going to do the storyboard file and then the project file. If you did your storyboards by hand, just take pictures of them and upload them, and we'll look at them now. And that's it. So that's our animation assignment. So hopefully you guys enjoyed our animation section. If you're an animation major, you're going you're going to do a lot more of this, and you're going to go into a lot more detail, but hopefully these are some good concepts to get you started. And yeah, in our next project, we're going to start to wrap everything up. We're going to learn how to make a website and put media on the website. So that'll be exciting. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions, if you want feedback on anything, or if you need help with anything. We can go over it in office hours, or you can just send me an email. So looking forward to seeing these projects, and see you guys in the next video.